Blessings. So there's this divine presence that's within you that is sacred, that is beautiful, that is really the embodiment of God. So when we tap into this presence of God that's within you, we are tapping into this power that's trying to express itself through us. And the way that expresses itself through us is by us manifesting who we truly are, which is beauty, abundance, joy, happiness, and everything we so desire is for us. But we have been impregnated into our minds since a child. We know this scientifically, that there has been so much that's been impregnated in us that has limited us to experience the abundance and the joy and the happiness of who we are. So we've been believing a lie this whole time, believing in a story that our parents didn't love us, that we didn't have enough. And this is why we do the healing work that we do, that we look inwards, that we do our shadow work, that we look at ourselves and continuously are being aware of our thoughts, being aware of what triggers us, because we want to make sure that we are healing ourselves completely. So as we're shifting our awareness more into an enlightenment, what that means is that we have those stages of awakening. That the first stage is that we awaken. We know that we awaken from our physical body. We awaken in the morning from sleeping, that we have that awareness of the physical body. And then comes the awareness of awakening, which we start realizing that we're more than this body, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And we become, when we see the realization of that everything is spiritual, that everything is evolving spiritually for us, that this time right now, this space right now, that everything that happens to us is a spiritual experience. So then we go to the last stage of awakening, which is the oneness. We start connecting ourselves with the oneness of who we are. Everything, we see everything and everyone around us as one. The other day I was driving. I don't drive much. I was driving and I was looking around at the trees and the spring. I live in Virginia, so the spring is blooming beautifully. And I had a true awakening, a oneness experience where everything was just me. I was the trees and the trees was I, and we were connected together, and everything was just blooming beautiful as I was blooming inside. And it brought me to tears, because I really felt what the mystics talk about that oneness, that connection, that divineness, that sacredness of who we truly are. So as I am feeling this embodiment of the creation of God within me, this is a stage where everything is one, and we shift our consciousness. We shift our perspective, and we see eyes with reality. So everything around us that is not at this highest vibration, that is actually vibrating low, we can see it. We feel it in our body. Our body sends us signals. We are at a time where a lot of us are awakening to our true potential. We are seeing where there's lack. We're seeing where things are not vibing at a high level. We see it, and we speak up now. There's a lot of us who are speaking up. A lot of us who are really holding ourselves in this space of love for humanity. So as you become awakened, as you awaken those inner parts of you, that divine part of you, that sacredness, that power that's within you, your shift of consciousness is going to shift, and you'll be able to see with eyes of truthness. You will be able to see with the eyes of love, and you will be able to connect with yourself, with everything around you. And everything else is just an illusion. Everything else, you will be able to identify where there is illusion, where there is a separation. Because those that are experiencing the lack mentality, they're experiencing a separation. And here we are, the awakened ones, to give them the spark to speak up. We were not able to speak up back in the days. We were killed. Joshua, look at Joshua. He was killed. Not just Joshua, I mean all the messiahs, they struggled, they were killed. And the Sikhism, the warriors, the messiahs, and the gurus, they were killed. So we are at a time where we're able to speak more about this awareness, this awakening. And even now, the ones that are speaking out are also being killed as well. But we can come together and awaken together, so the shift of the world and the consciousness, how it's shifting, we can be those awakened ones to really align ourselves with the divine power that's within us. It becomes a ripple. That when we awaken to our truth and we can see the oneness of ourselves with the world, with the stars, with everything around us, and know that we are one with God and that God is vibrating the divine expression of itself through us, then we become the ripple. And when we become the ripple, it vibrates in us, and our aura field becomes bigger and bigger, and those that come near us can feel the vibration of the divine around us. They can feel it. And they can see it, they can sense it, and they'll be like, what is happening with that person? What is she doing? What is he doing that's causing this ripple? So as you become more enlightened, as you awaken to the truth within you, express that truthness, express that through kindness, words, compassion. Be in that space of love and embodiment. And know that your brother and your sister are one with you, and that we are one together. And everything, when you look at the ocean, when you look at the rivers, the trees, the flowers, you would know that it is you that's vibrating through them as you, and that you are vibrating the same component, the same divine energy within every single part of your being. That is true enlightenment. That is true awakening. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are going to be humans. We are going to have emotions and be angry and feel frustrated and have our stages when we go up and down. That is all normal. That's part of the awakening experience as us spiritual beings having a human experience. But when we can realize that our human experience as spiritual beings, that everything is spiritual, that is the awakening. I'm Reverend Am Shakti, and I love you. Kisses.